Crypto investors, the new 1%, but here's a huge warning. There needs to be extreme, strict strategy if you want to become the new 1% in crypto. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you Bitcoin is shooting over 50,000 and we're heading into one of the largest bull runs in our living history. My name is Coach JB. What I work to do is make very complex macro and microeconomic strategies very simple so the normal everyday person can implement them. I have some free resources for you. Number one is a free consultation with my licensed insurance team. It's very important that you secure these profits in tier one capital. That's what I do. I put my money into Index Universal Life, secures my principal. I get market-like returns, and I can borrow against my assets tax-free. It's worked for me and hundreds of people worldwide. So if you want to set up a free consultation with my team to see how we ensure our profits, click the link down below and we can get you with the free consultation. You can also join my or download my free book. Sorry about that. A 16-page guide that tells you exactly at the back end of every video exactly what I'm doing. So let's dive right into this. Okay. So I've been sharing with you guys all the warnings happening, the BRICS de-dollarization. We have all this weird stuff happening within our society right now. Weird stuff. But this is all a transition since 1913, a 100-year transition into a new monetary system. We're going from industrial to technical, Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. We're going from paper money to digital money, guys. You're not going to stop the change, okay? Now, this is so weird, man. This is the president of the United States. If you first saw, well, you guys saw the laser eyes, right? So I'm not even going to put it on my social media, okay? But Joe Biden posted on February 12th, 2024. He said, Donald Trump said he hopes this economy crashes in the next 12 months. He wishes for economic devastation for millions of America. He knows our economy is strong. Let me ask you a question. Let me finish it. Sorry. And he knows it's bad for him politically if America continues to succeed. Comment down below. Are you succeeding? Or is your rent going up or going down? Is your food prices going up or going down? Is your pay going up or is it staying the same? Are houses unaffordable right now? What planet is our president on? Like, what universe is he living on where they think the economy is strong? This is the shit that people see on the news. It's not okay, family. The economy is not strong. The economy from a economic perspective or economist perspective. But when you look at the normal everyday person, Jerome Powell said, I'm worried about the middle class getting wiped out, leverage source technology. The reason why we're in this position is because so much free money for such a long time. I'm telling you, they are going to destroy the middle class. They are going to destroy the middle class, family. They have to normalize this economy and make it a real economy to get it back on track. And that's not good for the normal everyday American. Okay, so let's take a look at cryptocurrency. I want to show you guys this really quickly. This was from Valuetainment. They had this with Michael Saylor. So he is one of the largest Bitcoin holders, which is MicroStrategies, which BlackRock and Vanguard increase their position in MicroStrategies, which is the largest Bitcoin holder. I want you to hear this first part of this interview.
If you're trying to use money that requires banks, you can't trust the banks, right? You certainly can't trust the banks in Africa, in South America, and most of Asia. It used to be Americans thought they could trust American banks. Now they're realizing that they can't trust American banks. So the first order impact of the bank.
So that's a reason why I put my money where the banks put their money. They take your money and they put it into insurance. When they collapse, they're insured. Your wealth is insured, guys, not for your benefit, but for their benefit.
Banking crisis is people think, well, maybe the money I had in the bank's going away, and so I ought to put it in a bank in cyberspace that isn't controlled by the government or by the bankers, and that's Bitcoin. The second order impact is the solution to the banking crisis is print more dollars. And if you print more dollars, the actual monetary inflation rate goes 10%, 15%, 20%. So you think, why do you think those bonds crashed?
So what he's talking about is the bond yield inverted in 2023, the beginning of 2023. We had a banking collapse. The bond yield's inverted. Guys, the only thing they can do is lower interest rates and start printing more money. This is not good for the economy. The US dollar has no value anymore other than our belief in it. BRICS is working to de-dollarize. They're trading in their own currency. Russia went from using 50% American dollars down to 13% and increased their position with yuan 30%.
because they're actually claims on dollars. Do you really want to hold $1 billion of Zimbabwe dollars? What if I offered you 10 billion Zimbabwe dollars? I mean, the answer is it's going to a nickel. Okay. So if the paper currency keeps crashing, then you can't own anything that's currency related. You can't own a currency derivative. You need to own something that politicians can't print more of.
Okay, so that's where I'll leave it at with that interview. I'd highly recommend you go watch that interview. So that's a strategy that I built. I'm not saying it'll work for you, but it's worked for me. So when the bull run from 2021 to 2022 went up, I pulled profits. I opened up my index universal life policies. To me, I put my money where the elites are putting money where the banks are putting their money. Got a little bit of precious metals. I'm getting into real estate now. We stacked inside a business. Okay, I don't want to be sitting in a US dollar that they can just print. I'm not going to have a bunch of money sitting in my bank account when they can lend it out to the next person that has no value. My income inside of the bank is someone else's debt. So my debt is someone else's income. There's no money in the system. So we have to move it into real world assets. So I'll do this and I'll recap what I'm going to do on the back end here. Bitcoin ETFs reach 10 billion in AUM 1 month after approval. And I want you guys to listen to this. This is a pretty powerful interview with Anthony Pompliano. So Joe Biden's out there saying the economy is strong. Come on, guys. You got the banks are in a liquidity crisis. We have all the BRICS countries working to de-dollarize, and everybody's flooding into this thing called Bitcoin that they said was used for rat poisoning.
ETF this morning trading slightly lower. Joining us right now is Anthony Pompliano, founder of Pomp Investments. Good morning to you.
Morning.
This has been a bit of a wild ride because we talked about sort of selling the news or selling the rumor, buying the rumor, selling the news. But now we've come back to buying.
Yeah. I mean, look, the verdict's in, right? Wall Street doesn't just like Bitcoin. They love Bitcoin. If you think of these assets, there's been over 5,500 ETF launches in history. Never have we had a fund get to $3 billion in AUM in the first 30 days. BlackRock and Fidelity both just did it. So two for the first time in history. And then if you look at Bitwise and 21 Shares, ARK, they're both going to hit $1 billion this year or this week. And so now you have 4 funds that are going to hit $1 billion of inflows. But the most interesting part of this is the inflows. I mean, these funds are doing $500 million a day of net inflows. But there's only 900 Bitcoin that is actually coming into the daily incoming supply. And so when you look at that, that's like $40 to $45 million. There's 12.5x more demand for Bitcoin than what's being produced on a daily basis.
So how much of this do you think is being generated by the?
I want you to think about that for just a moment. There's 12.5x more demand than there is supply. This asset, crypto, Bitcoin, is going to go parabolic.
ETFs themselves.
Well, I mean, you can just measure the actual net inflows, right? And so you can just see there is way more buying pressure.
So you're saying $3 billion for BlackRock.
There's $4 billion now for BlackRock, 3.5 for Fidelity, and then you've got Bitwise and 21 Shares will both hit about $1 billion this upcoming week.
Total valuation though of Bitcoin, on the market cap, is $1 trillion. So isn't this a de minimis issue or no?
Now here's where it gets really interesting.
Most of these things aren't trading.
80% of all Bitcoin in circulation has not moved in the last 6 months. You have only about $200 billion is actually.
So what is that telling you? 80% has not moved. People are moving out into a flight to safety. That's what Larry Fink said, the head of BlackRock. They're moving to a flight to safety. 80% has not moved, guys. That is so important.
Tradable. And so that means that these ETFs sucked up 5% of the entire tradable supply of Bitcoin in 30 days. I mean, Bitcoin is become Wall Street's favorite asset.
So what does that mean? What does that mean to you as a retail investor? What that means is you have to be extremely, extremely disciplined during this bull run. Okay. Because it's going to get really exciting. The gentleman said it on the news. He said, you buy the rumors, sell the news. Okay. So when everybody's flooding into cryptocurrency, you should have an exit plan. Always pull your initial investment. Every single time, pull your initial investment. Number 2 is ladder out on the way up. That's why I encourage all of you guys to download Merlin. You get 30 days for free. If you're in the academy, there's a huge discount. So you download Merlin, you can set up your exit plan. We'll send you an alert when your targets are getting close. For what I'm doing is I'm exiting the markets from 2024 to 2025 as it hits targets on the way up. Why do I exit on the way up at certain price points? Because when you're excited and it goes parabolic, these asset managers are pulling hard. You're the exit liquidity. You're the exit liquidity. You're not going to beat Wall Street. Let me repeat that. You are not going to beat Wall Street. So you have to make sure that you do the opposite of the 99%. If the 99% is the exit liquidity, you want to make sure that you are following Wall Street. When this shit is going up, you have to be pulling profits. I am pulling and I'm max funding my index universal life policies. That guarantees my principal. It never can go below the zero, right? So all my principal is protected. I can get market-like returns, 6 to 12%. I can borrow against my assets tax-free, and I can buy more assets. That is the key factor. Okay, I'm continuing to invest in more companies, going to go deeper into companies to increase my earned income. I'm going to continue to get more precious metals, and I'm going to go deep into real estate. I'm going to make sure that I'm out of as much of the US dollar as humanly possible. I'm going to hold money in my bank account to pay my bills and to pay my mortgage and things like that. I'm not saying the US dollar is going to collapse. People keep saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if the US dollar collapses, the whole world collapses. What I'm saying is there is a transition. We're going to go into World War III, which could be a 10-year run. After 10 years, there's going to be a new superpower. There's going to be new innovation, new technology, and a new monetary system. Okay. I don't believe American will be the dominant currency after 10 years. I don't believe that. It's not going to collapse tomorrow. It's not, you don't need to go run on the bank. That's not what we're saying. But you have to be smart about this. Cryptocurrency is not your retirement. Cryptocurrency is the ability for the normal everyday retail investor to make a large amount of money in a short amount of time. But most of them get wrecked because they don't have an exit plan. Write this down. I do not want to be the exit liquidity. I am not the exit liquidity. Write this down. I am wealthy beyond my wildest dreams because I did the opposite of the 99%. Write this down. I am disciplined investor. I'm an intelligent investor. Write this down. I am removing the greed gene from my body. And when I make a good amount of money, I'm not going to get greedy. I'm going to pull and I'm going to secure my family's future. This is our greatest opportunity in human history for the normal everyday person to get a piece of Wall Street. That's why they push so hard. And regulation's not here yet, guys. So it's going to be extremely volatile, which is great news. When regulation comes in, it gets normalized, the markets will be normal. Okay, but remember, he said 80 before last interview he did, there was 70% of the supply haven't moved. Now 80% of the supply hasn't moved. They can't print more of it. There's a fixed supply, and they reduce the amount that can be mined every 4 years. Think about that for just a moment. Think about that. Crypto is one of the greatest asset classes to ever hit. But here's the thing, when regulation comes in, many of the cryptos are going to get destroyed if they can't survive regulation. So again, you have to have a solid game plan, okay? So I want to share with you guys as well, if you're still here, if you're someone who's interested, this is a paid part of my academy. I have a 4-week webinar series that we're bringing on 100 people. So we're crushing it. January's phenomenal. February's rocking it. We have another one coming up here very soon. You have to interview for the process. We want to make sure it's the right people. So week 1 is cryptocurrency allocation. I just show you my portfolio, exactly what I'm doing, not financial advice. Week 2 is how to get in the markets, how to exit the markets properly. Week 3 is my diversification strategy across business, precious metals, insurance, all the things that we do, and access to all the resources, access to phone numbers to my precious metal, everything we do. So you don't have to go out and grab everything. It's all in one spot. And then week 4 is the most popular one, which is meeting my trust attorney and getting access to our trust attorney. It's not, do you need a trust? It's what type of trust do you need? And then every month, this group will have a call with me after I meet with my CFO. And I'm going to present my financial plan to you guys and exactly what I'm doing, even if it's the same thing. So if you want to be part of that group, and also if you're deep in there and you're involved, we do 506Bs to help non-accredited investors get into investments. So that you have to be involved. We have to know you, have to know your finances, things like that. So if you're interested in that, you can interview by clicking the link down below, but do not click if you're not serious. It's a paid program. Okay. We're devoting a lot of energy to these people. And so I want to make sure that you give it all you got. It's a critical time in human history right now. So don't click the link unless you're serious, because you're going to get interviewed by one of my team members. They're going to take Life Force Energy to make sure you're the right person. So I appreciate you. I love you. As we always say, Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.